Hey guys, Mrs. Cop back in action. Today we are going to continue on with decimals, and we are going to do Math Module 6, Lesson 4. Okay, Math Module 6, Lesson 4. All right, so I have already started some things on my board that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so we're continuing with decimals, and remember, the thing that we use and that helps us the most is our what? I've already got it drawn here for us, but I want you to help me out. What is that strategy that we're going to use every single time? We're going to make our place value chart, the PVC, okay? The place value chart. That's going to help us as we move on, because today our lesson is now going to look at the hundredths, okay? And again, this chart's going to give us the answer to that, okay? Now, I want to go over a few things first. Let's do a quick little refresher before we get started, okay? Now, if I just refresh my memory here, let me just quickly erase this. Okay. Refresh my memory. If I have say I have one, ooh, wowzers, how big does that? Say I have 1/10. Okay. What does that 1/10 equal as a fraction? Okay. I'm just going to put the information right into my place value chart. This says 1/10. The word tenth tells me it's going into the tenths. So I have 1/10. Okay. So the rest of them would be what? Zeros. So how I would write that as a decimal would be 0.1. And then if I wanted to write that as a fraction, it would be what? I would look at my thing, 1/10, which is also equal to 1/10, right? Just like that. So all three of those, even though they're written three different ways, they are all the same. 1/10, 0.1, or 1/10 also equals 1/10, 1/10. Okay? Now, what if we looked at this? Okay, hopefully I don't erase everything. Boom. Come on, buddy. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so now what if I have 1/100th now? 100th. Okay. What do I need to do? Plug it into my place value chart, and it says I have 1/100th. I'm going to look at my place value chart. Hundredths, it's telling me I have 1 there. So it says only 1/100th. It doesn't say anything about tenths. So what do I put there? A 0. What do I put in my ones? A 0. In my tens, a 0. So 1/100th can also be represented as 0.01 or 1/100th. It can also be represented as a fraction as what? 1/100. All right. Now, if we were to relate this to money, because I love to relate this to money, who knows something that's worth 0.01? I'll give you a hint. They're copper, and they are worth a cent. A penny. Yep. Okay. Are they still made out of copper? I think they are. Yes. So a penny. Think of it as a money. You need 100 pennies to get $1, right? And then if we look at 1/10, I'm going to switch colors out. Okay. If we switch back to that 1/10, that's written as 0.1. What do we know that's worth maybe 10 cents? A dime. Right? And how many dimes do we need to get 100? To get a full, how many dimes do we need to get 100 or a full count? We would need 10, right? And that gives us $1. All right. So I just wanted to explain that now we're moving on to the hundredths. We're going to that next place value. And as we're moving away from the decimal towards the, as I'm looking at it, towards the right, we want to remember that the size of what we're using is getting smaller, okay? We're getting smaller as we move away, okay? All right, so now I do want to move on and show you a quick few things, okay? Boop, boop, boop. Let's clear all of this, okay? Now I want to show you something though. So what if I had 1/10? Is there a way that I could use 1/10 and show that 1/10 equals something as 100th? Is there a way that I could do that? I'm wondering. Something about this. Well, let's do this. There's two things that we could do. There's two options, okay? First, I can go back to Old Faithful, make my place value chart, and just put the information in, right? Tens, ones, tenths, and hundredths. Okay, put my information in. I have 1/10. I have one here. Actually, I'm going to switch my colors out. Sorry about that, guys. Give you a little bit of contrast. 1/10, if I put it in my place value chart, 1/10, which means what goes in my hundredths? A 0. So if I were to take my 1/10, can I also represent it as a hundredth? I sure can. All right? There's something that we could do that would help us. 10, we're going from 10 to 100. So we're going bigger. If I want to get bigger, I need to do a certain operation. Operation. If I want to get bigger, I could only do adding or multiplying. And in this case, I'm going to, I know you're going to say it. I know you're going to say it. Multiply, right? So what we're going to do is we just go back to the basic rules of fraction, right? 10 times what number gives me 100? 10 times 10. What I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So 1 times 10 is 10. So 10 hundredths is equivalent to 1/10, right? Okay, and you can see still right here in that place value chart. It's all right there, okay? Let's do another one, okay? What if I do it, oops, sorry, clear chart. What if I do it backwards? Actually, no, we're just gonna do another one. What if I do 7/10? How can I express 7/10 as hundredths? Okay, again, place value chart, if you want to use that strategy, or if you know your multiplication, do that. Okay, I'm going to show you both. Tens or ones, tenths, moving my face, tenths, hundredths. Okay, and I'm just going to put my information right into it. I have 7 tenths right there. It tells me plugging that information in right into my chart, and that's going to give me 7, okay, which means 0 and 0 here, which means 0. So that is also going to equal 70, or you can do the multiplication of timesing by 10. Both strategies still effective, okay? All right, now, the last thing I want to show you for this lesson is, what about, oh, I keep forgetting to clear. I hit the wrong buttons. Still learning here, guys. You're being wonderful, and I appreciate your patience with me. Okay, so now, what if I have a fraction? What if they give me a fraction in hundredths? Let's practice that. Let's practice going through between decimals and fractions and how to represent them in both ways, okay? So I'm going to say that I have 25 hundredths, okay? And I want to represent that as a decimal, and, well, we already have the fraction, so that we don't need to do that, okay? So right now I have the fraction, and I want to represent it as a decimal, okay? What's my strategy? I know you know it. What's my strategy? What's my strategy? Place value chart. You betcha. Getting it out, my place value chart. going right in there. Boom, boom, decimal. Draw my lines. Okay, label my chart, my tens, my ones, my tenths, and my hundredths. Woo, getting hard to write up there. Okay, now I'm taking my information and I'm doing what? Plugging it right into the chart. Okay, I'm looking at this and I know I'm working over 100. Okay, so I know I'm going to work here. Now, I'm confused. It says 2,500 hundredths. Does that mean I put 25 here? No way, Jose. Nope, nope, that's bad. Who remembers the rule with place value charts? I know somebody's got it. I know they do. Remember, each box in our place value chart only gets one number. Only one number. I knew you guys would get it. You're so smart. Just want to erase these and make sure that I put it in the right way. Okay, so now, as you so perfectly pointed out to me, one number per box in my place value chart. Okay, so if I look at the farthest number, I'm going to go to the farthest box. So 5, 2. Literally, I'm just taking them and putting them into the box. Okay, how many ones? I have 0. How many tens? I have 0. So how do I represent 25 hundredths as a decimal? 0 point, right? Because I have 0 ones. How many tenths do I have? How many tenths do I have? If I look at my tenths, I have 2 tenths. And how many hundredths do I have? I have 5 hundredths. Okay. Do we see that? Everything comes from our place value chart. I cannot stress this enough to you. Okay. Now, there's also one more thing I want to show you, and I want to show you how you can take your your fraction here, and you can use a number bond and you can break it down. Okay, I'm just going to show you. All right. I just want to get my eraser actually. So I'm going to just rewrite it for us. Okay, so it was 25 hundredths. Okay, you can use this and you can actually take this and break it off into a number bond. All right, and how you would do that is you think of it again in regards to your place value chart. Okay, I make it into my number bond. Okay, think of it. How many tenths do I have? I have 2 tenths. Okay, how many hundredths do I have? I have 5 hundredths. So if you were to add those together, all right, if you were to, hit the wrong button, sorry guys. If you were to add those together, it would be obviously 2 tenths plus 5 hundredths. Uh-oh. What does that mean? My denominators aren't the same, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of multiplication in there, right? And we know that if I'm going from tens to hundredths, I need to multiply, right? So times 10 times 10. Oops, that's not the best writing. Sorry, guys. And that's going to equal 20 hundredths plus 5 hundredths, which would be 25 hundredths. So they check out, okay? That's a lot of work. And again, math doesn't get harder, it gets longer. You can do that way, absolutely. However, everything that I just did down here in all of this is all done in that place value chart. every time you put those that numbers or every information that you have into that place value chart with your decimals, it gives you all the information you need. I cannot stress that enough to you. Okay, we're going to do one more example. Okay, so I'm going to clear my board. Okay. Sorry about my blocked hand. I apologize. All right, so we're going to do, what if I have 28? Ooh, whoops. 28 hundredths. How am I going to represent 28 hundredths as a decimal? My decimal. You know it, making that place value chart, because that is the best tool I have at my disposal. Place value chart. Drawing it in. Decimal. Oh, Mrs. Cott, you're a mess. Tens, ones, tenths, and hundredths. And I know you're saying this right along with me. Hundredths. Okay, so I'm going to take my information. I'm going to plug it into my chart. Plug it in, plug it in. All right, so taking my information. I have no mixed numbers. I have no mixed numbers here, do I? So I have 0 tens, 0 ones. I have 28 hundredths. So again, I just put them in order as they're written here. So the 8 is the last number. 8, 2. I have 28. How I would represent this as a decimal? 0.28 hundredths. All right. Okay. So that is everything that I have for math lesson 4. Okay, guys. Remember, and I can't stress this enough, everything comes back to our place value chart. Make it, make it, make it. All right. That, we'll stop my share, is all I have, guys. Have a good one. Bye.